That's it. So I think if you count them up, it'll be about 12. Probably exactly 12. And you could probably make the chart out for this to be a scheme of the book. I'll let you read the Samson story. This story material at the end does, I think, is interesting. That is chapters 17 to 21. Weird material. This is a new material. This has nothing to do with the judges anymore. This is some story about anger, civil war, something odd happening within the country. I guess it's against the Benjaminites. Maybe it's not against the people over in Transjordan, the Gileadites. There's some anti-Gileadite material. We've already encountered it. This is anti-Benjamin, I guess. And here, I think Moses' family for the first time does appear as an ancestor of some of these people up in Dan. Let's see if we can look at it. There was a man called Micah-Yehu in the highlands of Ephraim, 17:1. There's another folk tales if you want. And he makes an idol, or the mother does. And I don't know what the relation of that to the rest of the story is. And there was a young man in Bethlehem of Judah, where David comes from, as you may know. And he was a Levite. He left Bethlehem. I guess so. He goes to this Micah-Yehu's house. That's the deal. Who's kind of this Micah-Yehu is a little bit of a pagan or something. I am a Levite from Bethlehem in Judea. These are folk tales here. Line 9. Can I stay with you? And Micah installed the Levite as a priest. Now I have a Levite. Sort of like in Japanese folk stories, when you see some of these Japanese movies, that there's wandering warriors and wandering holy men, and the Lord set them up. I don't know if you see those old medieval movies they make about the old days of Japan. This is a bit like that. So they set this fellow up, and Dan was looking for territory. Hadn't gotten any territory yet, according to this story. Dan's in the north, but we already heard that Dan was out with the Phoenicians at sea, but now it says it didn't have any territory. And this man, or I don't know who, someone stayed at this house. The Sidonians, line 7, Sidon and Tyre are mentioned here, you see. The Arameans are mentioned, but they're the Syrians. So this is very old stuff, but it's just not very well digested, very raw material. What happened when this man stayed at this house? Something happened to him? What had happened here that the people of Dan get angry? And 600 men of armed war come back down to take vengeance here to Micah's house. What happened here? I don't know what happened here. Maybe some idol occurred. I don't know what happened. Something weird happened in any case. Anyway, something happened here. I'm not sure what. If you can enlighten me, I'd like to know. Maybe it'll come out. I thought someone got raped here, but I guess not. Anyway, the 600 men come down to this house again. I guess this is idolatry, the ephod and the idol and so on, line 17. And the priest said, well, what are you doing with these things? We need a priest, they said. Anyway, it's hard to follow here. They took the priest that this fellow, I guess that's it, nothing happened. He reported to his fellow tribes when they came and took the priest, they wanted a priest. They wanted a priest. Very hard to follow. These are not as good stories as in Genesis, you must admit. So anyway, they took the god that Micah had made, 27, and the priest, and they marched somewhere else. And they slaughtered all the inhabitants there. And they erected the carved image, 30. And Jonathan, son of Gershom, there it is, First time, not Gershon, but Gershon, son of Moses. So this looks like this man's name was Jonathan, son of Gershom, son of Moses. That's the first Mosaic descendant we've seen, is it not? And it's probably an old story. I'll bet there's some truth to it. Someone, a descendant of Moses, was up as a priest for the Danites. They took him up there. And they had this shrine there that his family did. As long as the house of God remained in Shiloh. I don't understand that. Okay, that's that story. But Moses' descendant appears for the first time. Oh, what's this one now? Next 19. And since we're telling Levite stories, let's tell another one. Okay, this is just material tacked on the end here. They didn't know where to put it. They put it here. Or maybe because it's Levites and they had all the other tribes represented, let's have the Levites here. But these are not nice stories. There was a Levite, 9:1, whose home was again in the highlands of Ephraim. And he took a concubine of a woman of Judah in Bethlehem, like again, Davidic sort of area. And he was preparing to leave when the girl's father said, "Have some food." And so he stayed. And he stayed there several mornings. And the man wouldn't let him leave. So he finally got up and he left after some time. He saw Jebus, 9:10, which is Jerusalem now, but then it was Jebus. He had 2 donkeys, the concubine and his servant. So at this time, Jerusalem wasn't even conquered yet. It wasn't even called Jebus, another old story. So this is material from in between the Exodus and the king monarchy that they just all stuck in this book here. Some of it they arranged in a 12-tribe scheme, some of it they just tacked on the end. That's good. I mean, at least they gave it to us. What are they going to do with it? Throw it away? So they preserved it anyway. So then they approached Gibeah on their way north. Gibeah is, we've had the Gibeonites, who I think they tricked the Israelites or something at one point into letting them stay with them. You can, or the sun shone, stood still over Gibeah while Joshua did some fighting there. Now, but you have to understand, Gibeah is known for one thing. Saul comes from there. It's in Benjamin area. Benjaminite would be right here north of Jerusalem, between Bethel and Jerusalem.